Hey everyone, it is Dave. Welcome in. It is time to discuss modules 3 and 4. I'm going to take you over to the Canvas site in just a moment, but I'm just going to give you some highlights. This week we're going to be covering some of the most important elements during the first half of the semester, which is line and color theory. The good news is after color theory, and that's the most technical of all the lectures we have to deal with during the first half of the semester, we start to get into the much more easy stuff. Pattern and texture in Module 4, as well as a really fun lecture on Vincent van Gogh. It was actually a professional lecture I did a couple years ago. It's about an hour in length, but everyone absolutely loves the art of Vincent van Gogh, and we kind of have this association with him. Don't forget in Module 3, we are going to have a discussion board. Module 4, that is where you will find the quiz for Modules 3 and 4, so make sure you complete all the material before attempting the quiz. And finally, we do have one of the other assignments that we have to complete during this semester. It's a GE writing requirement, and I've created for us a project that deals with making a collage and then writing a artist statement about it. So hopefully that will be easy enough for us to do. It should be a very fun project, and with that, I'm going to take you over to the Canvas site. I'll walk you through modules 3 and 4. We're going to take a look at Module 3 first. That's going to contain the other two major formal elements, line and color theory. Up top, we've got the video you're watching right now. The introduction, once again, covers the summary of what we're going to be doing for the week, the two lectures, the objectives, what you want to take away from the lectures, and finally the assessments that are due. For the discussion board, we just need to make a post this week. We can do the reply next week. And then journal entry number 3 we'll cover in just a moment. My office hours, Monday and Wednesday, 4:30 to 7 p.m. For the first lecture online, we've got the lecture and the study guide. For the further exploration video, there's just one quick video there. After that, we have color theory. So we have our lecture, our study guide, and also one video there, which deals with pointillism, and you'll see the painting that deals with in the lecture. I'm going to jump down to journal entry number 3 before I go to the discussion board. Journal entry number 3 has you creating a color wheel. So you're going to need a sheet of drawing paper, colored pencils. It's best to use the straight edge for this project as well, even though the very first thing we're going to do is draw a circle. So you can kind of see from the video here what we're going to be creating, rather than something like this where it's kind of a truncated wedge. Here, feel free to create like a pizza or pie type of space. You're going to divide up the wheel into 12 equal segments, and then you're going to shade in the primary, secondary, and then finally the intermediate or tertiary colors. Keep in mind that for the primary colors, you should have pencils that are yellow, red, and blue. Most sets also contain the secondary colors, green, orange, and violet. You can always create those colors by mixing the two primary colors together. So if you shade, for instance, red on top of blue, you're generally going to get violet. Same thing when we do the tertiary colors. We're going to have our base of violet. We're going to have another shade of red on top of that. That will make it red-violet. Once again, you'll be able to watch the video here, and it will literally walk you through how to create these intermediate or tertiary shades. After that, we're going to take a look at the discussion board. So in both the line lecture and color theory lecture, you're going to learn certain things specifically about Piet Mondrian and the way he creates his artworks, which are these incredibly cool paintings, usually using some type of color scheme, but you do not have to use a color scheme for this project, unless you want to. So you're going to have a sheet of paper. I would suggest doing a border. You'll see on this video here, she does not use a border. I do not think it looks as good, but I'm going to leave that up to you. I would suggest creating a border first. Make sure to also, any of the lines you draw in this project should be made with a straight edge. You're going to draw a series of vertical as well as horizontal lines that are going to be creating a series of squares and rectangle shapes in your artwork. You need to use a minimum of 15 lines. I would probably hesitate on anything more than 25 lines, but again, I'll leave that up to you. You don't want to create too many spaces. Take a moment to watch the video because that will really explain everything nicely. Fill in most of the shapes with colors of your choice. Mondrian does leave some empty spaces, so I would suggest leaving empty spaces as well. When you shade, and she uses a crayon, but I would use the colored pencils and shade in two directions using the edge rather than the tip or point of the pencil. And then shade in two directions. Shade north-south and then shade east-west. And that'll make a much nicer shape as far as the color is concerned, more equal value. You're going to post your artwork to the discussion board and then write a short paragraph about your work. Give us a title, tell us how long it took you to create it, and are you satisfied with the work that you created. Return to the discussion board just like the previous one and make sure to leave a comment on someone else's post. You will not be able to see what others have posted until you create your own. So I've got the video here for reference. Grading, 16 points for your project, 4 for the response. The due dates are the 15th and 22nd. And down below, just some examples of Mondrian's works. Do not copy anything you see online. You want to create your own unique image. Now that is the end of module number 3. You can stop the video here if you would like, or just join me. We're going to start on module 4. Module 4 is really nice because at this point we've covered the major formal elements, and in fact in module 5 we actually have a movie, so it gets a little bit better. We have a wonderful lecture on Vincent van Gogh this week, so I hope you enjoy this. This is actually a professional lecture I did a couple of years ago. In the further exploration section, we've got a link to the letters of Vincent van Gogh. A lot of what we learn about from his life, about his life, is through these letters, primarily to his brother. We have an episode of Vincent and the Doctor from Doctor Who. It is just a segment of it, about 5, 6, 7 minutes long. We've got a song from the 1970s that references Vincent van Gogh, and also back from the 1970s, a great episode of In Search Of, and that's narrated by Leonard Nimoy. After that, we have a pattern and texture lecture. We have the lecture and the study guide. For the further exploration section, there are 2 videos. We have impasto and frottage. Those are 2 techniques that you'll learn about in the lecture. Both of those videos are very quick. I think they're under a minute. Journal entry number 4 has you going out to take some photos. I want you to go out and take a photograph that will have line as the main or focal point of the work. The second photograph deals with pattern, and the third photograph deals with texture. So this student did a great job on line, on pattern, and finally using the sand as texture. All of those are great, and you're also going to go ahead and include a paragraph for each. Not even a paragraph. As you can see here, it's just a couple of sentences saying how this fulfills this category. After that, we have the modules quiz. So the modules quiz here is worth up to 20 points. You have 20 minutes in which to take it, and it is 1 point per question. It deals with the lectures of line, color theory, Vincent van Gogh, and pattern and texture. My office hour link here, once again, Mondays and Wednesdays, 4:30 to 7 p.m. The video you're watching up top, the introduction right here, and this will also tell you there's one other project to complete this week. There's, I think, 3 times throughout the semester where we have to do a project besides a quiz and a discussion board that the college requires. And this fulfills the first half of our GE writing requirement. There will be another project in a few weeks that will complete the second half. But I try to make this as easy as possible, and most students absolutely love this project. It deals a lot with the artist Vincent van Gogh and how his works are very personal, they're very human, and they relate parts of his story. What I'd like you to do is create your own story through the technique of frottage. You're also going to include a written statement about what you created. So the required media, you can just put this on the drawing paper again, but you can use photographs, you can use anything that you print out, fabric scraps, newsprint, wrapping paper, and so on. You're using 2-dimensional media. Scissors, I'd probably use a glue stick. Here are the written instructions for the collage, but basically the project focuses on you illustrating and celebrating your individual, social, and cultural diversity. I want you to create a project that includes anything from conflicts, barriers, excitement, accomplishments, hobbies, and hardships that you have faced either now or in the past. I suggest focusing on one topic. Maybe it's getting into college. Maybe it was being in CIF and sports and high school, anything like that. And you're going to create a collage, and you're also going to then write a statement. The statement should be at least half a page, 12 lines minimum, maximum a full page, which is 23 lines. College work should be double-spaced. You want to use standard typefaces, and you can use 12-point font. Please make sure to proofread and submit as either a Word doc or PDF. This is actually a professional artist's collage, and it shows what life was like in New York and in the jazz club back when he was younger. And I wrote the artist statement for him because the artist has passed away. Example number 2 this is a student example. It is on Harry Potter and her statement as well. And when you put that all in 12-point font and double space, it is 12 lines worth of material. I did want to point out a couple things as far as the collage is going. Make sure the entire surface is covered with imagery. That best tells your story. While color does work best, you may use black and white. Think about this as a page from a scrapbook. Have fun with this project. Consider the size and shape, scale of the objects, cropping and overlapping. Images at a diagonal are definitely a good thing to use. Make the artwork interesting. Please do not do this on a computer. This needs to be done by hand. And you're also tying in the collage and the artist statement. So when you make the collage, the artist statement should be about what you created. You can always look at Romar Bearden's work, which is below, as well as Picasso. He made quite a few collages as well. Total points is 30 points. Please keep in mind while that I do read through each and every one of these collages, I do so specifically for grammar and spelling. I do not comment on the subject matter. If you do want to talk about your collage, I am available during office hours. And I would also mention that, and it always surprised me that this project can get quite personal. Please be mindful that I am a Title IX reporter. For the grading, we've got the directions were followed for the collage, application of craft and technique, attention to overall aesthetic, learn concepts. As far as the paper, did you follow the directions, and how was the grammar, spelling, and flow of the paper? So a total of 30 points. It is due on September the 22nd, late date September the 29th, and it does open September the 9th. So you do have a couple of weeks easily to work on this. And I think that wraps up Module 4. If you do have any questions, of course, I'm always available Monday through Friday via email or Monday, Wednesday office hours. I will see you shortly to tell you about Modules 5 and 6.